starting. Okay, today we'll see how we can work with mail connector. So first thing is, in order to work with mail connector, what we have is in Boomi is we have a two piece of connectors. Let's go for connection here. So you can go for mail, right? So there are two types of connectors is being given. Mail connector. So earlier only one connector is there, mail connector, and the other one is now created new more thing is called IMAP. Internet something let's say internet protocol is there, IMAP. So earlier is it's not IMAP protocol is not supporting. So that's why internet message access protocol. This is the one thing was working now. The earlier only mail connector is there. Now there is a new more connector mail IMAP is connector is created. So if I first we'll see why we need to create the new connector, what the differences are there. Okay, so using the mail connector, what we can do is we can send out an email. You can just let me drag and off so you can see the mail connector. Okay, so using this mail connector, what we can do is we can send out an email. We can send out an email. We can specify the from address. We can specify the to address, and we can specify whether you want to send an email with the body or with body plus attachment or only attachment. So you have an option of specifying the uh, option for specifying the both body and attachment from to address. But there is there is a one more thing is lagging out here is you cannot specify the CC, you cannot specify the BCC, and you cannot go and retrieve. You might have created, right? So let's say if you open any folders, right? You might have any folders. We can create multiple folders, right? So here something like we can create multiple folders are there. So like you using that mail connector, right? So you cannot able to go and pick the mail from the specific folder. So you don't have an option using the mail connector. Only thing, the problem is you cannot use a BCC, CC, and you cannot go and pick the mail from a specific inbox folders. Inside inbox, you can create a separate folders as well to organize your emails, and you might have you can create some kind of rules so that any time the mail comes for inbox, it automatically move to the specific folder. So that's that kind of a thing, it's not there in the mail connector. So that's why Boomi is created a new connector, and this connector uses the deep protocol as a POP. This is one more thing is called POP, is a one more protocol, email protocol. Don't remember these extensions. The port, it's not a POP mail protocol. What is that? So you can use the POP3 and SMTP and IMAP connectors is it. The main thing what I understand from here is POP3 and SMTP already supported, and IMAP is the one, right? So whenever you do have an option of using opening the email using the webmail, right? Generally most of the things we might have using webmail. So the webmail basically works with this option, IMAP, Internet Message Access Protocol. This is generally works with if this protocol earlier is not supporting with the mail connector, so that's why they are calling as a legacy mail connector after creating a new mail connector that supports the IMAP. So now what we'll see is we will try to create we'll try to establish a connection. We'll try to establish a connection with our Gmail. Okay, Gmail. So it would be similar thing, because we don't need to have any, generally if you want to use the mail connector, what you need to have is you need to have your SMTP or SMTP server, mail server should be configured, so that you can configure Boomi to connect to your SMTP server so that it can send and receive an email. So Google have these options already there, so we can just use that options and we can connect, we can send out an email to our Gmail. So what exactly the setup is required from our side is, so let's open, so I did not try this mail connector, but I tried the new connector, what we were using, the new connector, I tried these options. So let's say mail IMAP demo. Let's go for here. So for this one you can use a single connection for specifying all these options. So let me drag and drop the connector so we'll have more idea on that. Let's configure this. So you do have an option of either you can drag and drop a generic connector and you can configure this connector option here, connector type, or else you can directly drag and drop this one as well. In this one is you don't need to select this value, it's automatically selected if you direct it. Okay, now you do have an option of send, receive, move. Okay, move is basically moving from one folder to other folder. Send and receive, you can use send is nothing but you can send an email from a process. You can receive email. You can connect your mailbox and you can receive the email. So this is the one. Now let's see the send option here. So for irrespective of the action, always connection would be the same one. So let me open the connection here. You can see the outbound host, outbound port, option, outbound connection security, outbound name, outbound. It means you need to specify using the what protocol you are using for outbound, what protocol you're using inbound. When I say outbound, you're basically using for sending this one. When I say inbound, you're basically using this particular connection for receiving the mail from your mailbox via Boomi. So if you want to do that one, right? So nothing you need to do that. There is a few more setups. Basically, we need to enable it from our Gmail server. So let me show you the what exactly that we need to enable it. So let's say Gmail SMTP server details, something like you just Google it. They'll give you everything. You don't need to remember anything. Okay, so this one is I already created a connection. I tested all these things. I'm just briefing you what exactly you need to do this. Okay. Let me open one other email. Another email. I think you can open this one. There is a Google might have given complete details. Server requirements. Server requirements. This one only, but you can use this, but you will have the complete details. So they might have mentioned inbound and outbound everything. Let me open one more link. They would be whatever the details we required, right? All these details they might have mentioned in one place. Not this one. Okay, let me open one more thing. One second. I think this might be the one. Okay. You can see the setup IMAP one here. You can see IMAP is turned on. The first thing is what you need to do is you need to turn on your IMAP. You need to tell your mailbox saying that mail should able to use the protocol so that it can allow the other applications to connect via IMAP protocol. In order to do that, you first need to enable the settings in your Gmail. So let's click on the settings here. You need to go back to the forward pop and IMAP settings over here. So I already enabled it here. So generally under IMAP access, you can say access Gmail from other clients using IMAP. So by default, this option will be disabled. Internet message access protocol. This is disabled. It means that if you want to access a Gmail, maybe from some other applications, then you need to enable these options. Enable IMAP is there. So you can just enable this one. And this is the one, the new connector is using this to access. The old one is using this one. Pop is option is using that. Okay. So now we enable the first step is we enable this one. Okay. The next step would be let me close all other unrequired things. Is all not required. We have all in one place. Okay. For incoming mail server, mail server, you need to use these options. Maybe you can just click on here, copy here, outbound host, incoming, right? Incoming is this one, this one, this one. Let's configure the inbound one. Require SSL, yes. Require SSL. Yes. Okay. What's the inbound port number is 993. Okay. So now you can use username and password. You always use your complete email address whenever you're using your Gmail username password. Sometimes the companies also will use the Gmail domain, right? So in that case, the your at the rate gmail.com, it might be some domain name will be there. So in order to identify that one, right, so always give the complete name here, complete email ID. Let's go for the inbound one. Outbound one is here, this one. SSL should be yes. Port number would be 46465. If you don't enable this when you are doing testing connection, it will ask you to, this is mandatory. Okay. Outbound username, you can specify something like I have enabled for other one. So let me check whether I have enabled it or not. I don't remember this password. Okay, let me check for other one. This is my other email ID. So let's see. Let's see. Let me open my other email ID. Let me check whether the IMAP is enabled or not. First thing is settings, forward. Yes, this one is enabled. The other option, the key thing is, okay, I'll show you so that you will get to know that. Okay, inbound username also, it is the same one here. Yes. So now let's click on test connection. I'm going to use local atom. So I have some issues in connecting with cloud atom. I didn't dig into that why it's giving me. So I was able to set up earlier with local connection, local atom. So I'm just using that option. So this along with that, right, you need to have one more thing. You need to enable it here. You can see it, test connection. Test connection successful. Generally, if you might have tried from your end, right, you will definitely get an error. The reason because is it's the Boomi is using a low level security options for related to so that Boomi has some option that restricting the other applications, whoever has other application that has a less security options. So in order to do that, go for account. You need to do some changes at account level. Okay, account, go for security. You'll see something less apps will be there, something less secure apps. Okay, by default it is off. Okay, I on it. That's why my connection is working. So let me off this one. Okay, so you see, it means what happens now. Gmail is restricting, the Boomi is trying to establish a connection with the SMTP server or a Gmail server, but Boomi is not restricting, Boomi is not allowing, because it says that your Boomi application is it means client is a less security app. So we cannot, Boomi is restricting connecting to the Gmail server for the less security apps. So that's why if you want to enable this one, you need to enable this one. So now if you test the same connection, right, you will get an error now. So one thing is you need to enable the from the settings and forward the things. You can see that both parts of it are not successful. So basically, what you need to do, you can also see that I might have received one email saying that I'm trying to connect this one. See this one, sign in attempt was blocked. And it means when you are trying to do a test connection, it's trying to connect it, but Google is not allowing. It's rejecting from here because of some issue. But that's for that one is basically you need to enable the option called at the account level. Sorry, not this one. At the Google account level, You need to enable the less secure apps. Here you need to go security. You will see the less security apps section will be there. You need to click on turn on. So you'll get this window. Make sure turn on. After you turn on, cross verify again. Go back and cross verify that whether it's actually on or not. Yes. Now you can just go ahead and click on next. You should be able to see that connection would be getting successful. This is a settings what we need to do from our. Okay. After, let me refresh it. Sometimes it won't. Okay. Now let me retest it. Let me see what. Okay, this is a correct email ID only. We allowed it. Both parts of the connection not successful. Outbound connection error. Username password not accepted. Learn more. Okay, now cancel. Now let's click on once again. We enabled it. I don't know what happened now. It's just now it's success, right? So what happened now? Gmail. Access for less secure app settings has been turned on. Okay, turned on for a Google account. If you didn't change it, you should do that. Okay, fine. Let me delete this email so that I'll not have any confusion. Now let me test once again. Only they should connect. Let me cross verify that my settings are enabled. Forward. Yes, this is enabled. I don't know what happened suddenly. Both parts of the connection were not successful. Outbound connection error. Username password not accessible. Learn more. Is bad credential. This is kind of a thing. So let me check whether I received an email or not. If these things ask right, you can just click on yes. Sometimes this might also get you rejected. Now let's go for so this one is off now. Okay, now click on after allowing on. This is simple toggle button, right? Sometimes frequently it goes off. You can just click on go back and see whether this options is. Oh, let me just check. Because sometimes even if you change settings, right, it will take some time to sync that. So it might be reason that one also. So if you see this option, right, they have something like they'll give some URL. They'll mention something like this. So let me sign out all the emails so that I'll not have any confusion. Okay, now let me log in. So this is things they'll ask you to, if you have some issue, right, troubleshoot problems. I cannot sign my email. If you can't sign into your email, check you might have these username passwords are not accepted, invalid credentials. You're asked to enter username and password over and over again. Check your password. If you have these problems, can't sign it, first check it. Update your email client to the latest version. Use app password if you use two-step verification. Anyway, I did not use two-step verification at all. allow less secure apps. If you don't use two-step verification, you might need allow secure one. If you recently change your Gmail password, you might need to re-enter it. So that is this all things looks to be good for me. Okay, again, I'm getting this one saying that okay, now let's click on check one. So let's yes, it was me. Change reply. Yes, it was me. Reply me. Okay. So now let me go back and cross verify the settings. Why keep on I'm getting these email alerts? Okay. I don't know why it's keep on getting off always. Let me go back and reopen this. I don't know, nothing I changed it. Okay, I just might have taken some time. So okay. Now this is the things basically you need to do the first settings. Okay, now let me click on the process at where is that? I think the process is not saved. Okay, new component, mail disk map. Okay, something you can just go ahead and do this. So for this, what we will do is we will just go and read the file over here. We are just reading this file over here. Okay, so let me just select the connector. So what I am going to do is I am going to just read a file and send out an attachment. Get, you can use any of them. File directory or here is this one. Let me take other parameter over here, not this one, this one. So let me go back and give this file filter as well. So I just nothing I'm doing, I'm just whatever the earlier I have set up the file reading options, I just use the same options. Now I'm going to use a mail connector, and this one I'm going to send out an email with an attachment. This is the one I just created a connection. Now let me click on an operation. So nothing you need to do here is what you can do is you can specify over here, as well as you can also so specify imap. Okay, it's something like that. You don't need to specify that because we can use the set properties to override those values over here. So let's go back here, yeah, this one. So you can see, as I mentioned, I from folder to folder, you can specify the which folders also you want to retrieve that. As of now we are not going to look at that. So from I'm just specifying that as user at boomi.com something. I'm just using that some dummy email. So I'll mention as my email id only again. So let me just Let me just do. You can see C, B, C, C, or all you can mention. I already tried this option. It's working now. So I'll just mention again my email ID and just for sake of I just mention the other email ID as a CC. Okay, what is that? So that we can see whether that email also has been sent or not. Just other email ID. Okay, and I can specify the subject this time. Subject I just mentioned that mail IMAP actor demo, something like I'm just sending like this. And body, what you can do is body body what you can do is body content type you can just mention something like text slash plain slash text, something you'll just mention. And what else options you want to mention that. And other thing is the main thing is file name. Okay, whenever you want to send a file name attachment, so you can use a file name. File name, what I'm going to do is whatever the file name that comes from this connector, I'm going to use that option. How can you retrieve that value is when inbound connector reads any file, that value by default stores in a document property called file name. So I use document property file name. So this will extract me the what file it has been read by this inbound connector. And I set the from to CC subject body content type everything I put file name. So let me just see. Okay, so now let me just save it and then run it. But if you use this same connection from the cloud atom, I'm getting some issue, but I didn't get into debugging to that. So if you have time and you can also check whether you can see text execution of Mailimap process executed successfully. You can see that process is completed successfully. Let me see whether email is received or not. Yes, I received an email here. Mail IMAP connector demo. Okay, let me open that email, and you can see that 2 is mentioned my email, CC mentioned other email, and subject what I said here came, and from I think whatever I said I think it's ignored that one, because in the username password I might have say specified you. I think they can directly, and the no name, why it's setting no name, file name, why it's setting no name. Let me just see what value it has been received. Ideally this should yes, customer.csv is set. Then why it's not let me just check what content it is there. I think nothing came here. Let me open this one. Open with notepad plus plus. It's there. Let me see. Extension info connection mail SDK connector IMAP connector operation connector. Okay, shape source data. It's showing me what is have. Why the same thing is not received over here? Why the file name is not being set over here? Okay, now let me just stop here. Send structured error behavior from to CC BCC subject attachment. Everything is there. Okay, something like just I wanted to see something like list of operations. Not operations. What I meant to say that this one text slash plain. Want to check this one maybe because of that. Or even from the cloud atom also it worked. I don't think it's okay. Some body content type is okay. File name. File name. It's working fine. Let me see any other options. I need to see this one. Mailimap. Body content type. Content type. I'll put it as. I think file name last time I tried it set working. This one is also coming. Let me see if this value is really coming or not. And specify this document property disk file name. Any other options we need to set, or here is no other options we can set. So here everything seems fine. If you want to send any cache one things, you can use the cache things also. If you want to anything refer from the caches, you can also refer from caches.
Remember, what are caches actually? Caches need to be created by us, or
Yeah, cache is temporary storage. We need to create the cache component, and in case if and this is for use for two purpose. One thing is for like what I can say for reducing the performance issues when you are doing number of calls, and you can use in that case you can use this one. Another thing is whenever you want to handle with the kind of attachments in web services response request response, you can refer the attachments with the by default when you send any attachment from the client to your server, we need to store that in the cache one. Cache is a will be stored the complete attachment content. Generally, if you want to send, you might have sending as a Word document or resume, something like you might have sending image file in the web service request as an attachment. So the body part will come as a request body, and the attachment, the whatever the document you might have sent, it will you can refer is in cache. And whenever you want to send it any reply or you want to retrieve that data and from a cache and you want to insert in some DB somewhere, you can use that. So generally, if anything you have some cache, you can directly refer from the here. So maybe in the further classes, we will see the how we can use the cache one. How we can use a
okay,
cache.
okay, fine.
Let me see another email this time. Okay, since I changed, I think either of the options is working. I think since I this time what I did is I specified the body content type, so attachment is ignored now. So now let me remove this one. Now let me retest this one. I tested for other process. Actually, this one is worked. I used some other one. Let me just see what happened. No content. Only content is came. Let me remove all these things. Actually, for earlier, I used for just for connecting purpose, I used the mail connector. For attachment purpose, I have developed some process. Where is it? I don't know what I did. Let me check what is the one I used it. Something. Okay, I actually use the not IMAP when I use actual mail for sending an attachments here. So here I set all the different find something is there. I set this one. This one is working. So let's see attachment. Okay, now this time. Now let me completely remove this so that if anything comes, I'll get to know that. You can rerun this one, retry previous test. Because of previous sequence emails, I am not able to correctly correlate this email. Okay, only body is coming. Attachments are not getting. Generally, we need to get that one as well, but we'll see that one. Okay, so why attachments are not coming? But you can use same things. You can use the same things for mail connector as well. Send. You can use this one. I think this one you use pop up. So let's go for this. If it is not enabled, you can enable this one. I didn't try these options. You can enable all email, all mail, even mail that's already downloaded. Let's use the same settings. Let's see what happens is use SSL, user password authorization. Let me get in my in the earlier process. Right, actually, I use one connection that comes for the Boomi certification process. You might have, if you might have gone through the certification process, you basically will be Boomi is giving one process. Boomi is giving one process for evaluating the certificate email connection issue, the email connection related things. The certification you have two types: one objective and practical. In the practical, they'll ask you to debug something. So in that case, you would be you the same connection whatever they might have given some template, you just use that and sort out the issue. So in that case I use the same connection. It worked out. So SMTP 465. Let's see this one. This one is not working. I maybe we need to set up another kind of a settings. Okay, you can see the option how you want to send it here. Whether you want to send it as an attachment or inline. If you change these options, right, let me change make it as attachment. Okay, attachment type, what kind of type you want? Text plain, body content type, text plain, whatever, we can use the same one. The disposal as an attachment. So let's save and close. With these options, basically you can send an attachments. So that the first action would be sending an email using the legacy mail connector. Second option would be using the. So you can just send out and you set an options. If the connection didn't try whether it's really working or not. User at boomi.com. think this one will not be valid now because we are using branch shape. So let me just put come to, let me specify the body also, body not body message. I didn't test this connection. Actually, this one is working or not. Even we don't have an option for test connection also. This one is a legacy connector. We don't have option. So if this is not working, then we need to see. I think it's working. Let me discard. Okay. See. Oh. Okay. Wait. Here it says, but somewhere it is showing attachment symbol. If you minimize this option, right? You can see attachment symbol over here. Yeah, here you can see the attachment under
Yeah.
850. You can see attachment, but I don't know why I'm not able to see. Let me see the attachment here. Yeah, you can see this is whatever the name I given. This one is perfectly showing the this one. But this third one also somewhere it's showing attachment symbol. You can see the both one. This is using the mail connector. This is mail IMAP connector. Both have attachments, but somehow that attachment was not showing properly when I opened it. I'm not sure what it's maybe since because we specified body content as a plain type initially. Even even though it's there a content actually it might have displayed inline. So if you change this option, right? If you change this option to inline, you will get an attachment. You can see if you attachment, it asking what kind of attachment you are asking. Inline, right? So you'll just get an email now. But the only thing is in the mail connector, you don't have option of specifying the CC, BCC. You don't have all these options. You cannot specify any from folder to folder. And so always you can use the IMAP connector with the latest options. And see now this time no attachment. Everything is came in the body. When you can see that this time attachment is this one. Okay, you can see this is the first one. Mail IMAP. Okay, this time again it came the previous content. Let me delete all these things so we'll have more. Rerun this one. Okay, so now let me rerun the process again, retry. So for the next session, what we can do is, if you don't have knowledge on web services or Visital, you can go through this, and even you can also go through the. I already told you to go through the XSD and double three XSD XML in the double three schools. You can also go through this one. So tomorrow we'll create a XML profile because all web services will use the request and response basically that, and again internally it uses the XML is a profiles for request for specifying the structure of request and response. So we'll be using the XML schema for that. For that, we'll create an XML schema and we'll use that in generating web services. So if what how the visual is looks like, how these things you can just go through this for the tomorrow class. It will be on double things, just a basic information. So now you can see
Okay.
this one still shows attachment symbol, but I don't know why its attachment is not showing over here. Okay, maybe attachment something plainly, but this one is you can see content same thing. So both options is working. So this I think earlier I did not tell anybody the mail connector. It's the first time I just spent some time to set up all these things, and after that I just wanted to give you so that you will have more clarity on that. So if you want to go through another thing, right? So what I there is a one more very good tool for working with XML related technologies that is called Altova. Okay, so Altova also has some kind of a tutorials is given, kind of training. It's not a video based. It's a but these are good actually. If you want to learn anything, right? Maybe standard something, library something somewhere here. Okay, you can go Altova library tutorials and training. But I'm not sure how much depth is they might have given it. This is you can see schema. This is what exactly I mean to say at XSD and Visdal. I think you don't have it, but schema you can go through this one. In the further sessions, I can even give you the W3 schools. The way how we have, if you consider XML file as an your database table, if you are using SQL to query the data from your TB table, so there is also a way for querying their XML data from XML file is that called XPath. You can specify some kind of a path expression. That path expression will go to your XML file, and based on the navigation path given, it will extract the value. So this is what navigation something. You can even use XPath. So the XPath, everything used internally for XSLT. Maybe you can consider XSLT as a processor. You pass XML is a one input, other input as an XPath. You might have been specified in the XSLT engine, XSLT, what is output. You can use XSLT. Maybe I can specify something like here. You can see somewhere they might have mentioned even this. So it will be better if you can go through XML XPath. They might have given 3, but you can go through XPath 1.0. So you will have a more you have more understanding will be there. So if anything comes up right later on, so you are in a position to quickly go through. If anything, boom, it takes a lot of time. You can quickly click next path. So that's the advantage of by default. All almost all the integration tool has a native support for testing this XPath for supporting, but Boomi doesn't have. So we'll use this XPath using the Java, using the custom scripting. Uh, what is XSLT? They have some images will be there. Images. Okay, something like if you see this one, right? Maybe yeah, you can see something like this. Okay. So if you see XML source document, if you want to generally what you do in map, you'll specify one profile format, right? What generally we were doing earlier is you say that what is output document you want to generate, and based on the what input document you'll pass this input document, and you will pass some instructions to generate an output document. This processor will take this input document, generate an output document. From the XML input you can generate an XML file as an output. You can generate HTML. You can generate text files as well. You can generate PDF. These XML technologies are very used. Okay, but generally for XML to XML, most of the times we will use in our integration. But XML to HTML translation mostly used in front end, JavaScript or web application. They'll most of the time they'll use XML to HTML. And again, in that after applying HTML, they'll write some CSS for formatting the data. All these huge things are there, but generally we'll use it XML. XSLT can generate different types of outputs, text, XML, and then PDFs, other things are there. But you can just text, XML, HTML. You just remember till that one. But we will use only XML to XML. But there are the cases I might have written some in one of the project where inbuilt Boomi was not supporting. I have used XML XSLT for generating a JSON output from the XML, because JSON is also kind of a text file. So I used the XSLT to generate the JSON output, because there in JSON what happens if you don't have data, you will generate empty key values. want to generate empty key value as a empty, but key value should be there. If you don't have value in map, you will not get key also. But whenever you want to do some updates to your API, basically you need key value, but value should be null. That was not achieving in Boomi, so something like I use XSLT. That there might be other options also we might have do, but for me it was simple, so I just done that. So you can just, it will be say that if when you are in integration space, if it would be very good added advantage if you know very good about XML, XPath. XML is the actual document. XPath is for go and select what exactly you want to get, and XSLT is internally is all the XPath expressions. So it'll help you a lot when you are in integration space. But we can try it, but how much we can explore. But it's a huge topic. Once you start working on, then you'll get some basic knowledge. After that, you can go to some next level.
Sure.
Okay, I think today we were able to hardly cover connected, but we will see the next session of web services. So for that reason, I was asking you to go through the wisdom, because it will be if you go through this, so for tomorrow session you will have some more clarity. I can anyway, I can
Okay.
give you that. I cannot give you from again everything from scratch. That's the reason you can also just go through the what is wisdom, what is schema, all the things. So after that, I can generate a schema. I can just explain you that, and I can quickly do it. You can double three schools. So thing will be more than sufficient. Whatever you learn from double three schools, right? That will be more than enough. Whatever XML schema, XML, XSLT, XPath. Anyway, XPath, XSLT it not be required for tomorrow, but at least you can go through the schema and vision.
Schema needs. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, schema and visual, at least you try to understand. Even by looking at that, what happens is you just try to understand that. Even if you are not able to write it also, you just looking at XSD, what is there, you should be able to in a position to understand it. So there might be cases now we need to enable customization. Earlier, everything we need to do customization whenever we want to expose any API and we want to give it to the front end application. We need to do some kind of customization. But now we don't need to do in Boomi as well. With the latest API component option is there. With this option, we don't need to do anything. With this option, API management and API component is one more thing is there. This with these two
Sure.
options, we don't need to do customization. No? We'll go through this one. First, we'll go through the basic one, how to use web services, so web services. Then we'll start to, exploring this API option as well for enabling the JSON REST based things. Okay, I think
Sure.
we can close for today. Maybe we can connect tomorrow and we'll go through that from web services. But you can be prepared for tomorrow. It will be, I think it will take 1 hour. Be prepared for that. So again, instead of discontinuing that, we'll close the web service topic. We just need to create a web services. We need to test web service. Two things we need to do that. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Then we'll share.